There's no apologies.
Do you remember today the chant that went, Theo to the right, here I am, stuck in the middle, Giroud. Do you remember that one?
No.
I did not remember that.
So I don't know if you just made it up, but anyways, guys, welcome back to the Cannon Podcast, and Arsenal have won again, but we're not celebrating. We are here to give you a very angry reaction because, of course, 5-0 should have been 6 and 7. How can we not score more goals? It's a disgrace. Disgracia, as Mikel Arteta would say. It's a disgrace. But lads, another victory, and Arsenal are moving up to second place in the table. Title race is getting intriguing, Alex. What do you reckon?
We're flying, baby. We're flying, mate. It's so good. It's so good. Look, I was trying to think, when was the last time the vibes were this good around Arsenal? Probably early last season? Question?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's one of those ones where the vibes are good right now, but I feel like fans are ready. When I say ready, last in the title race, it was more like a surprise. Oh my God, we're here. Fans right now are like, okay, we won 5-0, we won 6-0, cool. What's next? We're looking forwards, we're almost like we're ready with the team for the title race. And I often talk about Arsenal fans maturing. It feels like we're starting to a little bit, just a little bit, but of course, one little defeat, and I'm sure it'll explode again. George,
that's funny actually. Yeah, 'cause I never thought about that. Yeah, can a fan base itself mature?
It'll get used to it. That's what it is.
With a
It'll
team.
get used to title races.
Naturally you do, right?
Because it's like Liverpool fans where they've been so used to fighting Man City for so long, where they win a game and they know City are playing next, they're going, let's see if they lose first before we start celebrating this.
Yeah, but also I think that there's this media kind of craze that's going on right now that you have to be hyperbolically pessimistic. And it's just and it's to save yourself the disappointment. I've never understood that kind of weird obsession.
It's realistic, mate. We're proper fans, mate.
Yeah.
We want high standards.
Yeah.
High standards. Yeah, it's boring. That's how I see it. I see it as very boring.
Well,
I always people if I do a live stream on someone else's channel where it's I'm fighting for Arsenal, like I should be as an Arsenal fan. I'll have people in the comments saying he's delusional. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Or you're biased. It's yes, I am.
Of course I'm biased. I mean, that's why I support Arsenal.
But
that's the reason why I'm biased.
Yeah, but
it's like calling Arteta biased towards Arsenal.
And
yes,
also
he's the manager.
Of course I am.
When you hear other commentary that does the exact same thing to the other way, I always say this online. It's two sides of the same coin, right? And you're not here to police, I think, how people can react to football. You react how you want to react. But I just think that there's this push and this move to realism, which is being, kind of brought up in the same token as, I'm just going to be pessimistic. If you're going to give me the least or two scenarios, I'm going to give you the one that does the worst for the team. And that way, even when I'm wrong, I can say I'm right or I'm happy because the team's winning. And it's just this weird. I don't view life that way. I'll be honest with you.
It's like my prediction for us to come second. I win either way.
Yeah. but the thing is, right, I think nowadays fans have forgotten why they support Arsenal or support their club in general.
Yeah.
Out of all the teams in the Premier League, you got 19 teams. 20 teams, sorry. 19 won't win the title. So is that a failure for them that all year? The fans didn't have fun all season. These guys that sit there and go, win, amazing, but you're a fan. You're watching for fun, not because you get the medal at the end of the day. Because you don't get the medal. All you get to do is watch it on the TV and go, well done, lads. That's boring. So have a little bit of fun in the way. I'm not saying over-celebrate and but if you have to have fun, then go for it. If that's what makes you happy, then over-celebrate. But just not after 5-0.
No, certainly not. It's analogous to life. If you only celebrate on your graduation day and on the day you get promoted at work, you're just going to have the most miserable life. And also those things are external achievements. It's all about how you feel about it. And
exactly.
You can only say how you feel. I feel so, and maybe sort of coming to the team now, every phase of play, we are one of the best coached teams in world football. Name me a phase of play. So I tweet this out. Name me a phase of play, set pieces, high press, counter press, build up, internal play, direct play, claiming cross it. Name me anything you can do on a football pitch. What aren't we dominating right now? The coaching. And that's the thing, we can get lost in, win, lose, draw. You can get lost in what players are we signing? Mbappe, let's be clear. We can get lost in all of that. Look at what we're doing. The only thing that matters is the football itself. And are we the best coach? And are we playing the best that we can be? Everything else takes care of itself when you are coached properly and when you play properly. And right now, we are unbelievable.
Yeah,
Very, very good team, you know.
and I think just
And
trying to
go
do
on.
like the devil's advocate nature is a lot of this is because we haven't won recently and in 20 years. At least what I'm hoping for is that there's a little bit more maturity in how we approach difficult situations and an ability to just enjoy the moment. I always throw this analogy out there. It's almost like when you were a kid and you got like an A plus on a test. Your dad rewarded you. I don't know about you guys. Like I got an ice cream. I got like a little, go out to
No, I
McDonald's for
got
some chicken nuggets. For like, you can get a little
I
one of
mean,
those. And it's just
not good enough. 100% needed.
Yeah.
exactly. And
That was my mum, to be fair.
well, I mean, you know,
9 out of 10 on the spelling test. Why not 10 out of 10?
Was it? Is the
and like there's a bit of that, but like you get a reward for something like a good test
Yeah.
or a good midterm or like whatever you want to talk about. And it's not because you've graduated with a degree. Like my parents didn't go, "Oh, well done, you got an A plus. Does that mean you've got your high school degree?" Like that's not how life is approaching. So I do
Yeah.
think that we need to enjoy the moments. And there's a difference between you enjoying the moments and you saying that this team is done. Like that's the hyperbolic part that it's like, no,
Yeah,
just because
agree.
I say I like waffles doesn't mean I hate pancakes. And it's just it's one of those that I
pancakes
just
are clear though?
yeah.
Pancakes are clear. Let's be
Pancakes are very
absolutely
To
clear.
me, yeah, I'm not a big fan. But in terms of all of that, I just think that the reading comprehension online has really taken, I don't want to be rude, but like it's really gone downhill for me. And I don't know if that's just because there's this angst to win something. Like I'm trying to provide like
Yeah.
a devil's advocate for how at least I
I
don't
reckon.
feel, but I think that has a lot to do with it.
I reckon football's become more of boasting for our rivals than actually having fun.
Yeah.
So us winning a title won't be because we can celebrate a title. It will be fans because they can go and put in their Twitter group chats a photo of Arsenal player with a title. If they get a little argument, they can reply with Arsenal player in the title. It's too much fighting and less like, okay, this is us. This is for us. It's for everyone else now, isn't it? And I think also, fans need to realise that if we win a title this year, it will be the happiest it'll be for a while because it's the first in 20 years. So if we go again next year to win a title, it won't be as happy, or you'll be used to it because you'll have more expectations. Whereas that first title is the one that hits the most. And if we win it after the 20 years, like it will be an amazing moment. So why would you waste 99% of the journey for that final 1% to be
And
good?
then, Babs, we will finally be happy. Once we win a title, I can't imagine anyone ever complaining about Arsenal ever again.
Oh
It's
no,
not-
no,
it's probably not going to happen.
It'll be why we're not signing Mbappe. You know,
exactly.
why do we expand the Emirates? So, anyways,
yeah.
trust me, there will be some weird arguments. Fans will always have something to
Yeah.
argue about. But
Yeah.
For now, we've been a very well coached team, as Alex said, and on the game against Burnley, it was very well tactically done. So George, let's break down tactics. What did Arsenal do so well in this game to rip Burnley apart 5?
I think that confidence is a big thing. I loved the
course.
intent about how fast we started in general. I mean, not that there was a reason to be upset at the 6-0 of West Ham, but there was just a period, and I think a couple of the players mentioned it in their post-match, where there was a 20-minute period where I think we were trying to figure West Ham out and take them out of their block. But the players did mention that they wanted to start faster, at least Mikel wanted them to, and I think that is something that we're going to introduce back into our game a little bit as we approach the run-in, where we're going to focus and front load our intensity in a sense. And I think we've done it all this season to try to, of course, save fitness and make sure that we peak at the right time. But now we're hoping to peak. And part of that peak is making sure that the dominance, the control, but mainly the intensity of us meeting our markers and meeting teams is going to be top from the top of the match. And I think to end on something, the Kivior inversion is something that we're going to have to talk about, and it probably deserves its own segment in general because I think it's been brilliant. I think that it's offered teams a new way of looking at how to stop Arsenal that isn't ideal. And it's weird because, look, it's something that we on the channel at least have asked from Mikel. Like, we love the fact that we invert, but he's not flexible in terms of recreating that in different ways. And having Ben White, who has had defensive midfield sample in the past, and, look, I've been online and I've said, look, in my opinion, before he was signed, we would see a right-back transition. Then we would see him potentially move back into defensive midfield. And we've talked about it here on the pod in terms of one of my tactical shouts. Like, I think Ben White's ability on the ball is one of the best in the squad. I think his ability to find Martin Odegaard high and wide early in possession was really important when he was in build-up in these matches. And I think that he wasn't always inverted. There was a level of fluidity where if, Ben kind of dropped out of that zone and, Martin would drop deep, we didn't lose any of our progression, but also the team didn't lose any of its efficiency in terms of building from the back. Whereas I feel like even with Zinchenko, who does that brilliantly at times, there's a level of kind of rigidity in that transition. I don't see the kind of central midfielder that we've got in that zone able to effectively drop and build up to the same degree that a Martin Odegaard does on the right. So when we're looking at that inversion, I don't think it's just, White inverted, Kivior's a little bit wider. What does that mean? There's a little bit more fluidity and there's a little bit more doubt, because I think when you're looking at the left-hand side, there isn't that same kind of reliability of that person to drop into build-up. And we had that last year, I think, with Granit Xhaka more than we have with Kai Havertz, Fabio Vieira, whoever you want to insert your favorite midfielder to be. The person that is inverting on the same side, I feel, needs to have a partner that can do the same. It creates doubt. And I just think that the previous dynamic had a lot more predictability to it. If I know Zinchenko is the one who will invert, I play for that. I coach for that. And if I know that nobody else is going to invert really along that side, then I can control for the qualities of that person that's inverting. So the fact that Ben White inverts means, okay, here I know that he doesn't love 1v1. I can't leave him enough time on the ball. I need to be high and press. But then if he goes out wide and Martin Odegaard is the one that's filling in, I can't high and press because he's a brilliant person at retaining the ball. So that again, I think is kind of the dynamic that worked really well for us. I think no matter what we did, we would have done brilliantly against Burnley, but I just wanted to talk that inversion a little bit more because I think it's a little bit more than just saying Ben White do the Zinchenko role and boom, it's good.
It's not. And I agree. The defensives and that part of Mikel Arteta adapting is very impressive because it's something that fans demanded for a long time, of him adapting to players when players are injured. And the fact that we've got no Timber, no Zinchenko, no Jesus, no Partey, we're actually flying right now to the best standard we've seen under Mikel Arteta. I'd say the football we're playing right now is defensively we've not given a shot away in the last game, 2 in the last 3. And going forwards, we're making chances. And I think I want to focus on that forward aspect because I think that's where fans are most excited, Alex. Like Arsenal are actually scoring goals and they're flying into the back of the net, especially after that December, January period of time where we were struggling to even take a shot on target. Havertz and Trossard, new combination that Mikel Arteta has turned to. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. I mean, I love it to the point where you look at the Jesus return and look at me in the eye. I'm not saying Jesus doesn't get in Arsenal's team.
Oh, so you hate Jesus now, don't you?
Exactly. Thank you for picking it up. Perfect. Brilliant.
No, they just heard you hate Jesus at this point. They don't even hate Jesus.
I hate Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour. I think
I'm going to stop this because it's become beyond the meme at this point.
It started as a meme and it's now just what people do online. I think it comes to the point where you start to say, does Jesus come straight back into the team? Does Jesus Christ come to the team? Jesus Christ would get in our team. I
reckon he would.
Yeah. He worked miracles. But yeah, I think that is a question because I love how they work. They have Scott Willis put it perfectly on X. They have such a brilliant understanding of when to drop and when to stay. And they both play those roles in different ways, which I love. I think Trossard is a little bit more, maybe let's use the word wriggly when he's in the middle. He's a little bit more, maybe a little bit sharper, maybe can take it more in the block, maybe holds on to it a little bit longer. Havertz maybe is a bit more, gets out of his feet a bit quicker, maybe is a bit more dually, a bit more aggressive. And then in the 9, Havertz is a bit more, I think, a little bit more back to play. Trossard does more runs in behind. So they're just a little bit different in terms of how they operate in those two zones because they're different players. But I love the dynamic. And the real thing, and again, it kind of goes back to what George was saying. I think it's a really good point in terms of more tactical flexibility around who comes inside. A part of that, part of that is the Timber signing as well. I think that was going to give us flexibility on both sides to invert both ways. I think that's part of that signing as well to just give more flexibility. And I think this gives us more flexibility. Havertz playing left 8. What does that mean? it actually means he can drop into the 9 role at a certain point, means he can pull out at certain points, it means he can go wide, it means he can go sort of anywhere. We're developing a team and a system where players have a sort of a felt understanding. Mikel's not saying go and stand there now. They're saying, I think in this moment of the game right now, there's been a little bit of maybe a lull. I'm going to go stand here, see what happens, see which defenders that pulls. That kind of one brain thing is really, really beginning to develop, and I absolutely love it. It's, Mikel can sit there and coach all he wants, all of the automatisms and all the things, and we've seen that kind of robot football. Now what we're seeing is a commitment to this thing of going, okay, Martinelli's tucked in there, I'm going to respond as my left back, I'm going to go here. And when you have players like Ben White who go, right, Saka's gone inside, I'm comfortable in this zone, so I can go there. And it takes time to get those profiles. The one thing I'll end on is another thing that came up while George was speaking was the Burnley at the beginning of the match, I thought were actually set up really well. I thought the first 10, 15 minutes, Burnley actually compact, getting out to us quickly. They looked really, really nice and really sharp in their block. And then it fell apart. Conversely, to Arsenal, 86 minutes, Martinelli is still tracking his runners 5-0 up inside. That level of commitment to your team and to your coach, that's what's part of one of the many reasons that's got us here. We were still tracking our runners. We were still, I think there was a moment where Kivior shows someone inside from the left back into the centre circle and just pushes him all the way at like 92 minutes. How many? There was like 10 minutes of added time. So it's all the tactical stuff as well, but there is that level of commitment and aggression and the what we would call the fogging standards, as Mikel would say, that is allowing us to play this kind of football. And I just think I wanted to shout that out, because it's all very well having an idea, and Vincent Kompany has an idea, sure, for what his team should be to stop Arsenal, but it's the commitment to play that through the entire match and the energy levels to do that and to peak at the right time, which I think we're doing.
It's mad, because I would say that's almost Diego Simeone-esque. I don't think I saw a clip of you in the game before against West Ham of like 7 Arsenal players on the line ready to block a shot. That's how committed these Arsenal players are. And even the clip of Reece Nelson in this game, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, of him like screaming no in the 98th minute as a Burnley player tries to take a shot outside the box. The players are committed to it, and I love the fact. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The systems wise, I think Arsenal probably are right now. They were the best in the league off the ball, and now on the ball as well. And I think going forwards, the creativity has reached like brand new standards. And we were talking about early in the year, can we score enough goals to win a title? 11 goals in the last 2 games, like 21 plus in the past. But something's working, Alex.
Can I offer an apology to George?
Sure.
Thanks for checking out the Cannon Podcast. To hear the full episode, sign up as a YouTube member on this channel or go to patreon.com/thecannonpod.